Welcome once more. Please forward this message to Finland and the Finnish government and police for them to understand the Nigerian system and their level of abuse of human rights. The level of human rights abuses in Nigeria is extremely unacceptable, and one will wonder why Finland would even listen to the government and politicians of Nigeria in the first place to arrest Simon Ekpa. We need them to understand certain human rights abuses, recent human rights abuses. I will present a case of human rights abuse, and I will present the intentions and the actions of the politicians of Nigeria for them to understand these people and understand how they operate. Number one, the person you are seeing on your screen is a Christian from Adamawa State. Christian in the northern part of Nigeria, known as Sunday Jackson. You are going to understand the persecution of Christians in this story. Sunday Jackson is a farmer in Adamawa State, and one day he went to his farm to check on his farmland and his crops. All of a sudden, a Fulani herdsmen who are terrorists, and we also call them Fulani militia. One of them came to this young man's farm and attacked him. As the battle ensued, he took a stab of the knife to his leg, and this Sunday Jackson, with the intention and every human reaction to threat to life, he fought gallantly and killed this attacker that came to kill him in his own farmland. This act was done in self-defense and preservation of life. This is a natural instinct that any human in the world would want to do. You would want to protect yourself in times of heavy danger. You want to fight to defend yourself. You cannot sit and allow somebody to come to your house and kill you and go scot-free when you have the opportunity to defend yourself. This is exactly what Sunday Jackson did. He took a stab to his leg, and he saw that if he doesn't fight back with a very ferocious, strength, he would not make it out of there. It was a matter of life and death, and this young man did all he could and defeated the attacker. Now, this case was taken to court. The Nigerian court, sentenced Sunday Jackson to death by hanging. You can imagine, under self-defense. This is a law, an international law, accepted everywhere in the world, an international law where it is acceptable that one will defend him or herself in times of danger. It is self-defense. But in Nigeria, how do they treat human rights? They abuse human rights. As long as it is the Fulanis, and this is why we want out. This is why we continue to tell you that the Nigerian system and the Nigerian government are all working for the Fulanis. They are all working for the Fulanization and the Islamization of Nigeria, which is not possible. Which is not possible. Now let us listen to this man.
Mr. Emmanuel and I have been working for a number of years here in Nigeria on human rights issues, and this is a sad day, Charles, for human rights in Nigeria. Sunday Jackson, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm a human rights advocate. Sunday Jackson, by anyone's estimation, is totally innocent. And the issue where this man was out farming, minding his own business, and then the attacker came and a struggle ensued. And of course, this man is going to defend himself. That's why we call it self-defense. And yet today, we were at the Nigerian Supreme Court. and it was very brief. It was only about maybe 2 minutes long, and we just wept at the failure of the Nigerian Supreme Court to say that this man, and they had the opportunity to say this man was totally innocent. We haven't seen all the ins and outs of the decision, but we had the opportunity to meet this humble farmer, this young man who unfortunately his wife abandoned him, had been on death row for 10 years. So Sunday Jackson has now become an international case for human rights.
Yes,
and so we're going to continue to advocate.
I was going to ask you what are the international dimensions of this case?
Well, the international dimensions are Open Doors, which is a human rights organization, has recounted that there have been thousands of killings of Christians by Fulanis. And so as a human rights advocate and as a pastor, I'm here to advocate for this man who is totally innocent. So it has international implications. The eyes of human rights advocates are now on Nigeria. Like, how could this happen? How could this possibly happen? By anyone's estimation, as Barrister said earlier, manslaughter at least, because murder one that he's being convicted of and may face hanging if we can't get clemency for him, it has to be premeditated. So what justice on the Nigerian Supreme Court that didn't pop up and say to him or her, this is a case of self-defense and this man is totally innocent. So we encourage people to continue to pray for Sunday Jackson and his innocence.
You've heard it. And the president could not do anything. The politicians could not do anything. The vice president could not. None of them could speak because everything is working the way they want it to work. They have so organized it and they have so threatened the judiciary to act in whatever way they want them to act. Now, why would Finland even accept documents from a country like this? A corrupt and an intentionally corrupt country as Nigeria. A country that can turn anything against anybody who they deem, as a threat to their evil activities. Why would Finland even listen to whatever lies they have brought to them against Simon Ekpa? Why? Now, the second thing I want to let Finland know is that a letter was forwarded to the African Court on Human and People's Rights, suing Nigeria for human rights abuses against Nnamdi Kanu. What did they do? They returned a message saying that they cannot prosecute Nigeria for any human rights abuses. Why? Because according to them, please be informed that the Republic of Nigeria became a state party to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, hereinafter the Charter, on 22nd June 1983, and they ratified the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the establishment of an African Court on Human and People's Rights on the 20th of May 2004. It has not deposited the declaration under Article 34, subsection 6 of the protocol to accept the jurisdiction of the court to consider applications filed by individuals and non-governmental organizations. What this simply means is that Nigeria has not submitted the document that will give the African Court on Human and People's Rights the jurisdiction to receive applications from individuals and non-governmental organizations to try Nigeria on human rights abuses. Why have they not submitted this since 2004? Why have they not submitted these documents? Because they know within themselves that they are committing heavy human rights abuses against citizens of the country. And that is why these politicians will never do anything meaningful for the development of the country and for our people. Which is why people like Simon Ekpa, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, when they come out to speak the truth, when they come out to enlighten the youth of the nation on what these politicians are doing against them, they will begin to fight them with everything they have to ensure that they shut the voice that tries to enlighten the people. This is what Finland must understand. They must understand that this country is heavily corrupt. They must understand that these politicians can do and undo to ensure that they bring down anybody who they have perceived to be a hindrance to their evil achievement or evil pursuits. They want to bring that person down. Finland, open your eyes and release Simon Ekpa. May you not be used to shut a voice that stands to speak for the common people, that stands to speak for the Biafran people, that stand to liberate the youth from the shackles of the evil manipulations of the Nigerian politicians. Finland, may you not be a party to these evil atrocities. Look at what they are doing to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Look at how they are abusing his human rights. Case upon case, the court will rule and set him free, but the Nigerian state and the politicians will rearrest him immediately and keep him back in detention. This is a persecution of a freedom fighter. Finland, may you not be found abusing freedom fighters who have done absolutely nothing wrong. Thank you for listening. It is Biafra First.